Hi, I'm Ron Nutter, and welcome to another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter. This time, we're going to be doing part 6 of the Holiday Gift Guide. This one's going to be kind of attractive in several different areas. Now, if you don't recognize the little circuit board that's up there, that is something called a Raspberry Pi, and it's now in its 4th iteration. Well, 5, I guess, if you count the Raspberry Pi Zero. But it's really getting to a point now with what is available that you can do just about anything you would want to with it, and you don't have to be a Linux expert. So we're going to go over the one I just got in. This is one from the folks at LABISTS. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. And it's one of the best starter packages for the Raspberry Pi that I've ever seen. And they really did this one right. So when you open the box, this is what you'll see starting out. Now, there's 3 in the Raspberry Pi 4 Model B. I wasn't aware there'd been a Model A, but at least to the prototype stage there had been. You can get one with 1, 2, or 4 gigs of memory. I haven't seen a case yet for the higher amount of memory being needed, but I'm sure there are. I just haven't seen the case for it yet. So this is something I haven't even opened this yet. I'm not going to open it, but the big thing with the Raspberry Pi 4 is that it now has a gig port. The one that was in the 3B Plus, I think would said it was a gig, but it would actually, its throughput was only about 300 megs. I'm getting a little geeky there, I'm sorry. But now this one will truly do 1 gig. And it's got 2 HDMI ports on it, so it can drive 2 monitors. So really now, for the first time, it can be a very serious contender for desktop replacement. And they've gone to the USB-C power connector. It's got 4 USB connectors. 2 are 3.0 and the other are 2.0. So you've got some throughput there to work with. And they're now actually including, well, we'll get to that here in just a moment. To save holding up in front of the camera, I'm going to have to take a few things out of the box here, and then we'll kind of go through it one step at a time. And just so that you see what I'm working with, and I'll try to hold this up here where it doesn't all spill out, but this is all the stuff that they send with it. So you can do quite a bit. Now, they send a case with it, very decent case, send an HDMI cable, power supply. Now the one I got has a 32 gig microSD card in it. Now this is one of the most interesting USB card devices I've ever seen. Not only will it plug into a USB 2.0 port, but if you are somebody that has a Mac or another machine that has USB-C, this is the first one I've ever seen that will have that. So this makes it almost worthwhile buying it from that perspective. Now, they do send a fan, and I'm going to be installing that one because this one has the potential to run hot enough. You really need to kind of keep the air moving through it so you don't overheat it. They also send, bless their little pea picking hearts, they send you a little screwdriver so you can work with getting the fan properly attached, because let's face it, that's almost a jeweler's screwdriver. Now, this one has the heat sinks in it. Now, these are a little different than some. These are, I believe it's either brass or copper, so the heat connectivity is going to be much better than the ones that ship with aluminum. So again, it's all about keeping the Raspberry Pi cool, and its big draw to date has been it didn't need a fan. Well, now they're doing some things where they kind of had to go do a fan, but we'll see as I move forward with the different projects. But seeing that little fan is something. And while I'm going through all this, please do not think you have to be a Linux person to do this. You really don't have to. There's several distributions, and let's set that up there for just a moment. And we're going to go to that, and I'm going to show you kind of my list of what I've been doing. Now, this is Dakboard. If you have ever seen some of these, looks like computer-driven displays in business or hotel lobbies, this might be the package that's doing it or something similar to it. So you can now do that with the Raspberry Pi. You simply download what I'll call the distribution or the ISO file. You'll burn it to a chip and put it in, and then the rest of it's all configuration through a web interface. You have the smart home controller. Now, you've seen me do a few videos on Home Assistant. I'm going to kind of revisit that one because I ran into some challenge is getting some things integrated. So I just kind of put that one off the side, and it's my fault. I've never gotten back to it. Digital Assistant, mycroft. So that's another one that I'm going to be revisiting because now they've got some tie-ins to Home Assistant and there's some other things going on. Now, the thing that really got my attention is FreePBX. There is a distribution for FreePBX. And if you've not heard of this before, basically it's a PBX that small businesses and sometimes not so small businesses have been running on, but you can also do this for home. So if you're thinking about getting into the IT arena, or if you're in there but want to get experience with doing IP-based phones, FreePBX is certainly a good way to do it. And again, you have a very compact little platform on which to do it. Minecraft servers. For those of you who are gamers and want to be a little more involved in the Minecraft ecosystem, you can either set up your own server on Raspberry Pi and have your friends join that, or if you want to do things and just so you're used to working with a Minecraft server, and then if you have friends over, then you can attach that. That's certainly an option. Now, network storage. You've seen me do some videos on openmediavault. This is another good usage of it. Now, would I do this as a production for a business? Probably not, especially not with USB external hard drives. You'll see a lot of naysayers in the openmediavault forums. I've been running on it for several months. Had one problem, and it was totally my fault. The powered USB hub didn't have power on it when I had to reboot the Raspberry Pi running openmediavault, so it came up on only one drive, and I figured out how to get it resynced and went on. And I've got the notes on a video on how to do that. So it's not that big of a deal. Now, here's another thing. You see this one down at the bottom, number 7, PiHole. That is something, especially if you have a slower connection, like say 50, 30 meg connection, a significant amount of that bandwidth can be chewed up by all the ads that different websites have on them. So that is something that you could put on there, and it basically, where it can, strips out the ads. And I won't go into the details, but suffice it to say that that is something that you can do. And I've already got 2 Raspberry Pis running now, and I've got a third one that I haven't decided what I'm going to do, but I wanted to go ahead and get a Pi 4 because of this is the latest generation. They've already committed that this one will be produced at least 6 to 7 years. So this one was going to have quite a long lifespan to it. You can also do, for those of you who are more IT oriented, you can do a Honeypot with this. Now, where a Honeypot comes in is it's like a false target, to where it appears like it's a vulnerable host or a sacrificial host, whatever term you want to use, and it gets people to attack it. Meanwhile, it's gathering information and alerting you that, hey, there's somebody doing something they shouldn't. So whether it's a misbehaving IoT device or you've got somebody coming over and they're doing something on your network that they really shouldn't, this is a way to go with it. You've also got wired and wireless troubleshooting tools. So those are something that you can do as well. Now, you'd see me do in an earlier video, and you may want getting a memory card case for this. And this is where you can have umpteen memory cards in it. And I can already see me doing that. And here's why. On Cyber Monday, I think they called it, I got 3 of these for a little over $5 a piece. So that was well worth the buy. So what this allows you to do, say if you're experimenting with different things, you don't have to completely keep re-imaging the SD card. You can have one set up for PiHole. You can have one set up for FreePBX. So you can have quite a bit of things with it. There's also, I'm looking to do several videos where the Raspberry Pi will be a travel router so that we can do some different configurations of that. And I will probably do a configuration where one will be where I will plug into the wired side and it connects to hotel wireless. Another one, there's several variations. And for those of you who use travel routers, you know where I'm going with this. So instead of having to completely reconfigure each time, I can have one chip configured one way, one another way, because at $5, $6 a piece, does it really hurt to do that? And the answer is I don't think it does. So all the notes for all the links for these items, you saw my notes, they're actually going to be in the show notes. So you'll be able to go directly to the links. They are affiliate links. I will get a small commission. None of the companies, including LABISTS, are sponsors, although I did approach the folks at LABISTS to make sure that there was maybe something else they might like me to mention, because I wanted to make sure that I do a fair representation of any products that are out there. So that's, this one really has a lot of potential. If you're not an IT person, Raspberry Pi still has some potential. If you are an IT person, there's even more potential. And there are literally hundreds of different implementations that you can do with the Raspberry Pi. And if you mess it up, big deal. You re-image the SD card and you go on. So really, it's very straightforward. So this would be something, be an interesting little stocking stuffer, whether it's for young or old, whatever. There's all sorts of things you can do with this, and your imagination is almost is about the only thing that's going to limit you, because if you name it, somebody's already probably come up with a way to do it. So this is something that like I said, there were some good deals on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I'm sure there's going to be more deals continuing to come on. There are other pre-packaged systems out there that you can get the board and different accessories. Just look at it. This is one of the options that I went with. So don't want to keep you tied up, because I know you got other things that you need to be dealing with. But thank you for watching the videos. Thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel. And I hope these holiday gift guides are helping you, at least give you some ideas of things to get, either for that special person and on the holidays, or for yourself if you're the one that ends up having to buy some of this. So I will be doing some other videos with each of the options that I've lined out, if I haven't already done some, just to kind of give you some hands-on and help you along the way while we both learn about this. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and we'll see you next time. Take care.